What's up, Flavor Fiends? This is Jace, Black Raven Pit Purpose, and this week we're doing bratwurst. Super excited to get these on. There's pretty much no prep that we have to do. We can just throw these right on. We got something that we're gonna mess with later, but we'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and get these guys on so we can get smoking. Now I have my smoker set at 225 degrees. We're just gonna kind of get these guys on, give them a little spacing so the smoke can hit them real nice and well. Now the important thing on these is that it's a multi-step process. So it's a simple one, but still requires multiple steps. So probably the most important thing is how you actually probe these for temp. I'm going to show you here on this last one. It's important that you don't want to break open the casing at all. So what you actually want to do is get your probe to kind of go through the end here, just so you're not actually piercing the casing. This one's actually already open, so we're just going to go ahead and slide this one in here. Just go to about where it feels like it's in the middle. That should be about good. And then we're just going to leave this in until it gets to about 120 to 130 degrees, and we'll call it good. I'm going to move this guy over, give us a little bit more space here. Okay, so again, it's important that you're just going through the end of the bratwurst, that we don't pierce the casing. Just in case you couldn't hear me, we're looking for an internal temperature of 120 to 130 degrees. Now we're going to flip them after about 45 minutes. So once we kind of get to the point where we're ready to move on to the next step, we'll see you guys then. Okay, so we just hit 120 degrees. We're going to go ahead and get these guys flipped. Yeah, there we go. A little hard to do with when you got tongs in your hand. All right, so let's just go ahead and flip these over. Save the one with the probe for last. A little slack here. Then we're gonna just close her back up. Okay, so now that our bratwursts are flipped, we're just gonna go ahead and let them sit until they get to an internal temperature of about 145 to 150 degrees. At that point, we'll move them into our beer bath. So while we're waiting on these, let's go ahead and show you how to make that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is just take one yellow onion and kind of chop that up. Get some of the skin off here. Obviously, we don't want any of that in here. Just go ahead and cut the top. Now, I am definitely using the wrong type of knife to be doing this, but frankly, I don't care right now. So we're just going to make it work. And let's see here. Get all the skin. Let's go ahead and cut the bottom off while we're at it. Okay, now we got all that skin off. We're just going to chop this up. It doesn't have to be pretty looking or anything by any means, so we're just going to go ahead and just cut some pretty good sized slices here. Getting a little narrow for my fingers. Okay, we got those. Let's go ahead and just cut these up a little bit more. Again, they don't have to be exact by any means. Okay, so we got those all chopped. Next, we're just going to throw them in our foil pan here. And I'll break them up a little bit as I do that. Spread out some of that onion flavor that we're looking to get. Oh man, the only thing I hate about cutting onion is just your eyes get all teary-eyed and it's hard to see what you're doing. Makes me think I should have like a space helmet or something on. Okay, that looks good. Okay, next we're going to take a tablespoon of mustard. That looks to be about a tablespoon. Throw that in there. And you'll use about a teaspoon of mustard seed if you want to be like specific about this, but me personally, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of put a good layer of this on here. That looks good. Last, we're going to do some black pepper. And again, I'm just going to put a good sprinkling of this in here. And let's do a little more. Oop, probably a bit too much, but that's okay. All right, next you're going to take any sort of like lager or Pilsner beer. I myself have chosen Miller High Life because it's the champagne of beers, so how could you go wrong? Now this is a 32-ounce can. You really only need about 24 ounces, but given that I'm like cutting things pretty thick, I'm just going to kind of work with it here. First, got to take a sip. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, love it. All right. Okay, that feels like it's roughly 24 ounces. Next, I'm just going to kind of stir this up a little bit. All right. And our beer bath is ready. So I'm going to put this in the smoker when my brats reach about 140 degrees, just so this can start warming up a little bit. And then the goal is to actually have it kind of simmering when we're ready to move the brats into the beer bath. So yeah, we'll just see when it comes time for that. Okay, so my brats are actually getting done faster than I thought they would. It's a slight problem. So I'm actually just going to move them to the beer bath before the beer bath is actually simmering in hopes that it'll actually kind of cool them down a little bit, slow the cook. My problem with these is that every week I'm trying to time this around dinner time. So if they get done too early, then, you know, everyone's rushing to get to the dinner table in time, or like mom's rushing to make sides, etc. So we're just going to go ahead and transfer these over and just kind of hope for the best here. Okay. And check out my probe. Too early. So we'll go ahead and stick that guy back in there. Okay, so now that I have my brats in the beer bath, I'm going to wait about 15 minutes before I go ahead and turn them once. Ideally, the beer bath would be simmering already, so it'd actually stay at temp, but because I dropped them in cold beer, the temperature dropped a little bit on me, so that's okay. We're just going to kind of work with it here. Essentially, after about 15 minutes, I'm going to flip them once. Once the internal temperature of the brats gets up to 160 degrees, then we're ready to pull them from the beer bath and move on to the very last step. So we'll see you guys when it's time for that. Okay, moving on to the last step, we have cranked the smoker up, well, I guess you can't really see it on camera, but we've cranked the smoker temp up to 375 degrees. We're going to go ahead and give these guys one last hit on the grill. Put a little foil on there just to kind of speed up the cooking process, because now I'm running behind, but that's a me problem, not a you problem. Okay, so let me move this over a bit. Again, we have our smoker set at 375. We're just going to crisp these up on here for about 2 minutes per side. And get them all in there. This will actually stiffen up the casing, so that way when you go to bite it, it'll actually be a nice little pop. I'm going to put my glove on so I can get this last one, but just close this up and let them sit for 2 minutes, and then rotate, let them sit for another 2 minutes, and you're all done. All right, these are all done just in time for dinner, luckily. People are upstairs getting a little impatient, but they're done. That's what matters. Overall, they look really good. The skins, you can tell, just like really crisped up, and like I just cut one open right before I started filming this part, and it was solid. It had a nice little crack to it when I punctured it with a knife. Yeah, overall, I'd say these are looking great. Let's go ahead and see if we can give one a try here. Oh, yeah. Just the right amount of onion flavor in there. The pepper really came through, and the beer you can actually taste, but it's like very subtle. Overall, these are really good. Probably some of the better brats that I've ever had in my life. Next time I might have to try like the jalapeno or like the cheddar stuffed ones, but these are pretty damn good. I'm excited to dive in. Don't forget to check out our nonprofit for the week, the Omaha Public Library Foundation. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, being part of my journey here. I really hope you all enjoy my videos, and I love to hear your feedback. So if you try any of my cooking methods, please let me know. Let me know how it turned out, what you liked, what you didn't like. I love to talk to people who watch my videos, so please feel free to reach out. Also, general reminder that 100% of all my profits until the end of February are going to go to Alex Preddy's family. I know right now his GoFundMe, I think, just reached over $1 million. So we might decide to spread out the money to some of the other ICE shooting victims. But time will tell. Right now, I'm devoting all 100% of my profits to whoever I think probably needs it most. But with Alex Preddy's following, it's looking like he may not need it as much as others. So we're just going to play it by ear, kind of see what happens. But either way, I want to make sure that this money gets to people who really need it. So please feel free to hit me up for any sort of orders. I'm happy to ship things anywhere in the country or even across the world if need be. I just have no idea what the shipping cost would be for that sort of ordeal. So anyways, thank you again. Thank you for everything, watching, liking, all that fun social media stuff. Thanks again.